Introduction to Solar Energy and its Applications.
Dear students, this video is a recap of what we have studied about solar energy for the last few classes. Today, I would like to discuss with you about solar energy and one of its application, solar pond.
Sun is a major source of energy. Sun is a star at the center of solar system. Its diameter is around 1.39 million kilometer. Mass is 1.9884 into 10 raised to 30 kilogram. Mean distance from Earth is around 1.496 into 10 raised to 8 kilometer. Age is approximately 4.6 billion years and surface temperature is around 6000 Kelvin. So the major source of Sun's energy is coming from nuclear fusion reaction, which represent entire electromagnetic radiation. This figure shows the electromagnetic radiation spectrum, wavelength along x-axis and energy along y-axis. We can see X-ray, ultraviolet, visible region, infrared, microwave, and radio wave. As we move towards the right hand side, the wavelength is increasing. Now we have famous Wien's displacement law, says that wavelength of the maximum intense radiation is proportional to the temperature. Therefore, if we consider Sun, its surface temperature is around 6000 Kelvin. Therefore, the wavelength of maximum intense radiation will be in the visible range. Whereas if we consider Earth, Earth's surface temperature is around 300 Kelvin. The wavelength of maximum intense radiation from Earth is in the infrared region. This is the electromagnetic spectrum in which Sun's maximum intense radiation comes in the visible region and Earth's maximum radiation comes in the infrared region. That means heat radiation. Solar insolation. Solar insolation is the amount of solar radiation reaching the Earth. It is also called incident solar radiation. That means the amount of solar radiation that reaches the surface of the Earth. Its maximum value is around 1000 watts per meter square. Now, when we consider solar radiation, it has three components: direct radiation, diffuse radiation, and reflected radiation. Now, first one, direct radiation. It is also called beam radiation or direct beam radiation, which is the solar radiation reaches the Earth's surface in a straight line without any scattering or diffusion. Second is diffused radiation. Describe sunlight that has been scattered by molecules and particles in the atmosphere, but that has still made it down to surface of the Earth. So this radiation is the scattered radiation from the molecule that reaches the Earth's surface. Next is a reflected radiation. That is the radiation that is reflected from dust or non-atomic. So global insolation means it is the sum of direct, diffuse, and reflected radiation, or it is a total radiation that reaches Earth's surface. Another term in solar energy is solar constant. That is the total radiation energy received from the Sun per unit of time per unit area on a surface perpendicular to Sun's rays outside the atmosphere. That means this is the solar radiation reaches outside the atmosphere, whereas solar insolation is the solar radiation reaches on the ground. The value of solar constant is approximately 1367 watts per meter square. Coming to air mass, it is a measure of how much atmosphere the sun's rays has to pass through on their way to the surface of the earth. So air mass, which is the ratio of how much atmosphere the sun has to pass through at a particular time and how much atmosphere the sun would have to pass through if the sun was directly overhead. So it's a ratio between two distances that the solar radiation has to cover before reaching the Earth's surface. AM1, air mass 1 is the air mass when the sun is directly overhead and the least amount of atmosphere needs to be crosses to reach the Earth's surface. Air mass is the distance when the sun is perpendicular to Earth's surface. So when we consider ratio, AM is equal to 1, therefore it's called AM1. Second, AM2, when the sun is 30 degrees above the horizon or 60 degrees from zenith, the path that the sunlight takes through the atmosphere is twice as long as the path it takes when sun is directly overhead. So this distance is twice than this distance. Therefore, when we are taking the ratio, this is approximately around 2. Therefore, this is called AM2.
This is all about solar energy. Now we can discuss one of its application, that is solar pond.
A solar pond is a body of water that collects and stores solar energy. Its design reduces convection in order to store heat collected by the pond. So this is working on the principle of reduction in the convective heat transfer. Main function of solar ponds are collection of radiant energy and its conversion into heat, storage of heat, transport of thermal energy out of the system. This is the cross-sectional figure of solar pond, in which there are 3 layers: upper convective zone, second is non-convective zone, and lower convective zone. Surface convective zone, that is the uppermost layer, and its depth is around 10 to 20 centimeter, and upper zone of clear fresh water that acts as a solar receiver. So the topmost layer is occupied by fresh water. Second is non-convective zone, a gradient which serves as a non-convective zone. This is half depth of the pond, and in this zone concentration and temperature increase with depth. So this is the non-convective zone. We are using salt to store heat energy. So when we move downward, the concentration of salt and temperature is increasing. This layer occupies half of the depth of this total solar pond. This is a non-convective zone. That means energy is or heat is trapped in this layer. Last is lower convective zone with densest salt concentration serving as a heat storage zone. So this is a very important zone for solar pond where it stores heat energy. So this is the lower convective zone which store maximum amount of heat energy, and this non-convective zone trap this heat energy. This is other figure of solar pond in which surface zone, that is freshwater zone. Second is insulation zone, because it traps this heat energy which is stored here in the lower convective zone. And last is the most saturated zone. Therefore, the working principle of solar pond is solar radiation reaches the lower layer which contains concentrated salt solution. Temperature in this layer rises, but heat is unstable to move to the surface by convection because the middle layer is non-convective layer. Salinity gradient prevent convection current. Heat is thus stored in the lower layer of the pond. Advantages: low investment cost per installed collection area. Thermal storage is incorporated into the collector and is of very low cost. Can store solar heat much more efficiently than a body of water of same size because we are using salt gradient in a solar pond. Disadvantages: require a specific location that is not readily available in all areas. Excessive wind can blow water away or evaporate the top layer of water at high rate. Risk of contamination of ground with high salt level from the water in the pond.
Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Thank you.